Yeah, so first thing I do when I'm like gotta get my can take off this flap right here. The flap looks like this. This is what I'm making to like dry it and make it into jerky. Then the next thing I do is I flip it over right along the spine or the tail here. You cut on either side. There, and then I just like kind of like crunch them. It pops off like that. And then you just take your knife and cut it the rest of the way through. Comes around right there. We got this. We're gonna be deboning that piece in a minute. We'll do the other side. There you go, your second piece. And I have this knife that I really like for like doing the tail pieces. So I create across here, I'll cut the tail piece off, and this is what I use this piece for bone broth. That's a piece of bone broth. Alright. So then you're gonna look right, find the first like rib, you kind of feel it right here. Here's the first rib. You're gonna cut on each side. And go all the way in. And then you're gonna kind of crack it a little bit. And then you can just cut that off. And you got like, this is my favorite part of it. There's that, so you can set that off the side. Alright, so now I'm gonna take the front shoulders off. You can just kind of looks a little gross here, but you're just gonna take it underneath here and kind of cut it across. There's a lot of flat skin on here. You can take that off if you want, but I don't ever cut it off. And you got this. And we're gonna cut that off eventually, but there's one. And then you got two. And you got this right here, which the back has a lot of meat right here. So I always cut the ribs off, and I use the ribs as like for bone broth. But first I cut this little bit of a neck off so there's not so much blood. Take this knife again. And then this just gets thrown out to the wild animals, I guess. Or the cats or whatever. I always have a bucket for cats, extra cat stuff for cats. Alright, so you kind of crack these down. Crack these ribs down just a little bit. Makes it easy to get on here, right? You're gonna go right along. You can kind of see where the meat is, like right along here. You're gonna cut that right there. And that's your rib, which I use for making like bone broth with. So we got two ribs and the back piece. And then this is good for like grilling or cooking, or when I make braised rabbit I use this. So now you're going to take this piece and cut off all the bloody gross pieces, I guess you could say. And then your one leg, front leg's good. I'll do it to your other front leg. Right here. There you go. And then all you have left is just to take the hip bone piece out of here. You don't have to. I do. I take the hip bone piece out. And so you're going to kind of feel for the bone here. I'm going to cut in and down. And you see that one piece of bone. I like to take these out so that when you have, if you're going to do bone broth, then you have a lot more bone to use. But you'll have all of this bone once you debone if you're going to make a soup or whatever too. But and then you got this little piece of bone, which will go for bone broth, along with your tail and your ribs. So that leg is done. So when you're done, there's legs, ribs, there's 2 flat pieces, and all this will be your bone broth. So once you're all done, you got your 2 back legs, those are bones here, your middle section, your 2 front legs, and your back. Then your flanks for if you're gonna smoke those, and then this is all your bone broth. Is your hips right here, your hips for your bone broth, your tail, and then your 2 sets of ribs. And all this right here. It's one rabbit, but you can make bone broth out of all that.